watching footy fantasy. It is your steady thing go meet your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. It's footy fantasy. Yeah, watching footy fantasy. Footy fantasy. It is your steady thing go meet your football need. Your football need. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. Sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. Your eyes go see. It's footy fantasy. Footy fantasy.
And we are live. We are back once again. Another episode of your favorite podcast, Footy Fantasy Podcast. We have our unique selling points of all our brothers and sisters in diaspora, all giving their views about football on a weekly basis. And here we are once again to give you another bumper episode. We are here with fantastic guests once again today. But before I introduce my guests, I'll just do a bit of housekeeping. We have our YouTube channel is at Footy Fantasy, Twitter handle or X, as you want to call it nowadays, it's at Footy AD Fantasy. Instagram is at Fantasy Footy, and the team music was provided by SJ at SJ Music. You can find them on Instagram. I mean, we have a bumper lineup today. We have some fantastic topics. So let's go. I'll introduce. Looking from my top right, the Bayern Munich fan, the guys who are from FC Hollywood. What else do you want me to add?
The host of yesterday's Champions League final.
Yes, they hosted that fantastic.
And they trashed our stadium.
Yeah, those fans. We'll come back to that. I mean, those Paris fans, what was that all about? Anyway, wow. Dayo, yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining us once again. Right, and great. And I'll go to on my bottom right as I'm looking at the screen there. Billion gang. You know, the billion gang people from Chelsea. He's already rocking his blue apparel. All blue everything. Idris, we're happy to have you with us again, representing Chelsea.
Thank you for having me. We are ready to rock. Don't worry, we'll rock every day.
And last but not least, we have Henry, who is a gunner, and I mean a very brave gunner showing up today. You know, because the opportunity for bantering is going to be there. Trolling will be there, but he's there. He's always been brave, and I appreciate that. Henry, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I knew this was the lineup, especially with that Bayern guy. I will have avoided today because I still remember the last show he was giving us about how if Musiala's parents gave birth to Musiala, So, anyways, thanks for having me, Sha. But it's all good. We died there.
We died there. We go again. Next season is there. Don't worry. Don't mind them. I'm here to provide moral support for you, Henry. If things get too much, I'll be here backing you up. You know, I might be stabbing you in the back when I'm backing you up, but I'll still back you up. So let's go. Like Dayo alluded to, there was a Champions League final held in Munich yesterday. I mean, there was a lot of damage done to the stadium, but also there was a lot of damage done to Inter Milan by PSG. The biggest ever winning margin in the Champions League final, 5-0. 5-0. I'm going to start with Dayo because, I mean, they were the hosts of the final. Did you see that coming? Did you see such an emphatic win coming? And what were your thoughts about the final?
Okay, thanks for having me. I didn't see that coming. I thought PSG will win comfortably, but I didn't expect a blowout because that's a blowout. Because, okay, first of all, PSG players were younger and more energetic. Inter Milan were trying to play the opposite. They were older guys and everything. They scraped by against Bayern Munich. I didn't think they actually were better than us, but, you know, they won and they progressed. PSG was more convincing in their wins. So, and PSG was trying to win, and they were very young, more dynamic, more interesting to watch. So I wanted them to win. And another thing, especially because it's a big middle finger to us traditional teams. We always live on this IOS, oil money teams, Arab money teams. And, I remember one quote by Ulione, Bayern Munich president, that, okay, despite all the money they're spending, they've not won the Champions League. Unfortunately for him, Chelsea, Arab money, billionaire money, and PSG won their first Champions League in front of him in his living room, in his Munich stadium. So, Man City 2-1. So the thing is, it's just the hypocrisy of the we traditional clubs fan. These people are spoiling the game. They are bad for the game. They are sport washing. They are everything. Everything we accuse them, we have done it in the past. And we now want to make our own. Okay, we did in 1980 is better than you doing it in 2008. It's BS to me. So because what they're doing is what Berlusconi did with Milan, is what Agnelli did with Inter, is what Moratti did with Inter Milan, Agnelli did with Juve. Everybody, we got a break somewhere. And there's the political part of it. Berlusconi was using he was prime minister and using it to watch his political career. General Franco was using it to watch Real Madrid. So suddenly we are all upset that, somebody else is doing what we've always done. And for me, they bring a refreshing and perspective to football. Okay, they invest money. They don't just invest money and they don't go and pay for the trophy. Literally, they invest money into developing young talent, bring new ideas into football, bring new things like go to Man City, compare it to no Man U fan. He said, compare how Man City is run versus how Man U is run. You see that someone puts a lot of infrastructure in place. Minus the money, okay, you might be like, they're buying a land for 500 billion. That's not really the thing. They are spending a lot of money on their academies, spending a lot of money into sporting, nutrition, and things like that. Things we used to overlook before. Everybody was just vibing.
And even the surroundings in Manchester, even the city itself, they're putting money into the city itself. Yeah,
it's creating an ecosystem of where everything works together. It makes the sports better, to be honest, because because if it wasn't, assuming we were successful, we successfully get kept it, and we didn't allow new people to be coming in. Just the Man U with their decrepit style and everything, still managing to win. Liverpool will be shouting at them from a distance, not able to. Arsenal will be finishing fourth, and everybody will just be okay. I'll just be mediocre. But they've stepped up. Everybody have been forced to step up now. They will beat the hell out of you if you don't step up. These people will smash you. Like Liverpool, Klopp had to raise his game. Everybody raised their game because of Man City. Europe, everybody has to. Okay, you'll be like, okay, we should do it the right way. Where are the people that are doing it the right way? Leicester City has gone for the second relegation now. So what do they get? Okay, they won the trophy in 2016. They've been relegated twice since then. Because, okay, and that's a good example. Where's Sevilla now? Sevilla that was doing it the right way. They used to be like one of the top 4 in La Liga. They can barely make top 10 nowadays. Ajax that did it the right way. We all cannibalized them. We bought every player off of Ajax. And we want them to do it the right. It's like Yoruba used to say, like a butcher cheering for chicken. We are cheering for this so that we can always steal their players. And why do we hate Man City now? Because we cannot buy their players. Why do we hate PSG? Because we cannot bully them like we used to bully them before. So we are now upset that, how come we are now beaches anymore? Like
I wouldn't say people hate. I think maybe in France they will hate PSG because, of course, in France the French clubs have been dominated. But I mean, many people have a soft spot for PSG. In my opinion, I want the PSG to win. I mean, I don't really hate them. I don't see them as rule breakers. The issue, I won't sidetrack too much. The issue with Man City is there were some rules in place and they broke those rules. It's different from Chelsea. When Chelsea did their spending, Chelsea were not breaking any rules because those rules were not in place. So that was fair because there were no rules in place and Abramovich spent the money and it worked. They were not breaking any rules. There were rules in place. Man City allegedly, let me not get in trouble, allegedly had 115 counts, so 16 allegedly. Allegedly.
Like right now, yesterday night, would you rather be a French league fan or a Dutch league fan? A Dutch league fan, 20 Utrecht, they are destroyed before the Champions League group stage. or PSV, they are all destroyed. Or you rather have a PSG that at least makes it to the semi-final of the league, of the Champions League. They are able to give exposure to people like Desiree Doué in the Champions League. What are Dutch league able to do for their players? And they are
it took PSG a long time to go along this route. Let's not sugarcoat it. They went the Galacticos route.
Yes,
they went the Messi before they now said, okay, let's just give up on that and start giving the young boys a chance.
But they were making a semi-final. They were making okay. Would you rather be a Dutch league fan or a French league fan? Even last year.
I don't understand about the Dutch league fan, French league fan. I can't speak for the quality of those leagues. What I know is that there was one time, and that's let's bring it back to the match itself. But why this match reminded me of was the '95 team of Ajax. When Ajax got to the final, and Ajax had young players like that we saw yesterday playing with great energy. Van Gaal was just coming off that's tactical masterclass and all of that. This PSG team reminds me of that Ajax team, and there was a time when Dutch teams were doing well too. I mean, Ajax got to the final back to back. PSV they've won it before in '88 or '87 or '88, yes. And I mean, every league will have a time where it dominates. Every league will have a time where they'll be the ones that will be on top. And I feel with French football, like you mentioned a point where I agree with. When Man City eventually came in, when Guardiola came in and raised the standards, English clubs had to step up and raise their own standards too. And that helped with English clubs now dominating in Europe for a while because the standards have to be raised to match Guardiola. And I'm thinking eventually French football, they're signing some TV deals, I think. I think the money will filter down some of those other French clubs to start having to raise their game. And some of them, apart from PSG, will be doing well in the future. Not now, because the money has not come in yet. Yeah, I'm sorry, Idris coming.
Yeah. I'll say I think I understand where Dayo is coming from in the sense of like doing things the right way, or I won't touch ideology coaches yet. Just wait. We have time. We'll get to that. But as you know, I'm very biased on that topic. I think also we are sticklers for traditionalism as human beings. We could also be quite tribal.
We don't like change.
We don't like change. We don't like change.
Yeah.
We don't like change. But we only like the change if it's coming from us. If now they change the change. You understand? Natural. Yeah, it's a natural thing. I think it's a natural human phenomenon. When somebody from the outside comes in to do something different and doesn't toe the line, you get punished. I know Olaya is saying like Chelsea wasn't breaking the rule. Bro, they came vehemently for Abramovich. In fact, they succeeded in getting him out. Those that felt aggrieved about him, Chelsea, because all those things that you're talking about, City is changing the whole landscape, Manchester, they're changing the whole landscape in Manchester and stuff. If you went to Stamford Bridge, you would see the handprint of Abramovich all over that Kensington area, Fulham area. You would see it. And it was crazy when we went through the sanction, how so many people got affected because of one sanction. But people couldn't get past the fact that he's Russian. We have this ideological belief and we're going after him. And it has affected business.
Let me say something. I think Abramovich wouldn't have been pushed out until that war, the Russia-Ukraine war started. Can I be honest with you? Yeah.
No, to me, I think it was an opportunity because they've been coming for him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Chelsea broke football. You remember, Chelsea broke football. So when he left, who is the next person that reminds us of what we don't like? This Arab man. This first, it started with they hated LGBTQ people. Oh, they are non-tolerant. Oh, they are jihadists. But yet now they are the place to go and raise money for capital, for private equity. Nobody's talking about it anymore, right? Because at some point, right, we have to just be honest about how we feel about change and who is bringing the change into our ecosystem. And many people did not like the fact that Arab boys just were flush with money and they were able to repeat what the Uniteds, the Liverpools, or the Habs have done in the past, right? So naturally, my own opinion, I think in my own opinion, naturally, I think human beings are just tribal and do not like change or abrupt change. We are seeing the same thing with the way they are calling Chelsea owners 443. Americans don't give a crap. Sometimes I even echo some of those biases and sentiments, right? Like these guys are not even trying to understand the game, understand the culture before they change it. But you know what? Now their money, they can do as they want. It's Premier League's market, they can do as they want. France, same thing. If France wants to evolve or the Dutch League wants to evolve, they have to be honest with themselves and see if they want to compete with the Premier League, even the Italian Serie A and the Spanish League, and start going out there to sell their product at the end of the day.
All right, Henry, let's talk about the football, because when Dayo and Idris are topics like this, we will never get about the football. Henry, as a fan of the club who actually got knocked out by PSG, like four under English clubs, what were your thoughts about the match? I understand the other point where we're talking about, oh, it's good that PSG have broken through that ceiling, but I want to talk about the football now, the 5-0 display. What were your thoughts? Did you see that coming? Did you think maybe, for example, did you think Arsenal probably were a bit unlucky that they met PSG that were on the hop? Because you guys actually beat them in group stage. I mean, what were your thoughts?
We beat them group stage without a Dembele. But again, so the beauty of yesterday's match just shows how football evolves, right? So we saw a style that literally evolved over the course of the competition, because again the Arsenal the PSG Arsenal played initially wasn't the PSG we met in semi-final, wasn't even the PSG we also saw yesterday. The PSG we saw yesterday was devastated, and I'm not gonna lie to you, that game could easily have ended 7-0 if not right? What's the name of the guy? Is he Boca or
Bacola?
Bacola literally missed like 2 clean chances, and that's probably why he's still on the bench. But again, the scary proposition to is this guy's. You have someone like that Bacola guy who's clearly you see is not even refined yet, and tells you that PSG are not even playing peak football yet. And the ceiling for them to grow is still very high, right? If you look at the average of that team, I think it's somewhere around like 24, 23, right? So there's still a very, very, good upside to them. But very, very interesting game. And I always say this, right? It's also shown us as soccer fans and as, as people who love the game, that it's not always about the stars anymore, right? It's about building a cohesive unit. It's like gone are those eras where you can buy your way out of issues and just start winning. There are proper ways to do these things now, where if you can build a solid base, if you can build a solid foundation with a solid coach that builds a solid structure and is given enough time and players to execute, then success will come. It might not come immediately. Hell, prior to yesterday, they were probably the same thing like us. They were just labeled as, wannabes. They would get to finals and they never win, right? That was what we knew them for. But, they gave a good account of themselves yesterday. I think most of us saw the handwriting on the wall. I think the Inter Milan also just playing in a lot of games too this year and being competitive, and all the competition didn't help them. So I think, PSG did play too because they won a treble too. Yesterday completed a treble, but a lot of us saw the handwriting on the wall. So I wasn't too surprised, but the fashion, how they went about it, and then the scoreline was really, really excellent, and it's just a sign of things to come. I think next season, we think we've actually seen an excellent Champions League this year. I think next year is going to be crazy. I think next year's champion, because guess what now? Everybody's going to be stockpiling. Everybody's going into the off season to stockpile. Like, if you're not going to get with it, you're going to get out in terms of players, right? Because think about, just for one thing, think about what's going through Mbappe's mind now. That this guy's executed these things without me. Like, I ain't shit. So imagine what that would, the ginger, he will probably put in all those players like, hey, get with the program, or else, these teams are not smiling. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the future.
I am. I mean, like I said to Dario, the only caveat I will add is, but this is one good thing, and I think maybe Idris mentioned this earlier. With teams like PSG, other big clubs can come and start poaching these talents unless PSG want to sell them. Unless they want to sell them. Or unless somebody pulls an Mbappe where Mbappe just ran down his contract and now left. So what I would have been scared of with this team is that, they're so young, other big clubs will come in and start taking them off. But I mean, PSG have money, they're going to give these guys massive salary, they'll keep hold of this. So basically what I'm trying to say is this team still have at least 2 or 3 good seasons of dominating. If they are kept together, if they are kept together with Enrique and they keep investing, that team is scary. And I think me and Henry were talking about this in the group chat yesterday. That team is scary because the average age is so low. I mean, there were 2 teenagers scored in the final yesterday. Teenagers.
Let me even tell you what is scarier. Chelsea is already showing this because all these owners meet together and they're talking. Let me tell you what's scarier. Man City is already there. Man City is already running profit. No matter how much you guys want to abuse Man City about breaking FFP, they've still running profit. If these deep pocket guys start running profit, like the model they are now, like Man City showing, I can win the Champions League, I don't have to break the bank. I can trade players and bring some unknown guy that fits whatever team structure that we're building. PSG had everybody, and they still did not win. They had Messi, Neymar, everybody. Now they won with Mbappe going after Mbappe made them feel like crap. And that means this business model is working. Yeah. They're going to start making money. Once they start making money, the golf is going to even be worse because it's not like they have deeper pockets to do the damage, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe you should not create a scenario where the same owner start buying multiple clubs.
Yeah, multi-club model.
Yes, that's the way. So going to the game again, it's like it shows us that football is still a young person's game. It's a game for youth, and it's a game for energy. It's a game for running. It's not a game for just we can hold Monday morning quarterback and be like pointing like those Inter Milan guys wanted to be doing. They ran them so much that they were all dizzy. There was a time Bacola spawned this guy Achebi. Though he wasted the chance anyway. He did whatever he did to Achebi, and that guy was just like, I'm told for this.
but it could also be a game that showed tactical genius. Like, let's be honest, Inzaghi is good, right? And Inzaghi, though, has showed us in this season, he can go guns blazing and reckless. I mean, it's good football. But if you are an Inter fan that wants to win, I don't think that's the kind of blood pressure you want to be watching. Like, you know what I mean? What's some form of control? PSG just showed ruthlessness. They don't, like against Arsenal, they got rattled a little bit in the first 15, 20 minutes. As soon as they settled, Arsenal collect. Because now, you understand? And you can't say Arsenal are not young now. Do you get where I'm coming from?
They did the same thing to Liverpool. I mean,
exactly. Everybody collect.
That first leg against Liverpool, we actually won that match. The first leg, I think that was our toughest match this season. Even Slot was saying that Slot was already banging the drum that this PSG team is exceptional. The first leg, they battered Liverpool, as in from pillar to post. Alisson had to make like 10 saves. And he has never made that many saves in one match. 10 saves, and they battered us, and then we scored one last-minute goal and just managed to win. And
do you know what? The game against Man City too. Like Man City, I think
2 goes down.
2 goes down. And they just scattered them all over the place.
I mean, that team is something else.
That fluid front three that they don't have a point man, Dembele will start at your 9. Before it's dragging you to the left. This one is dragging you to the right. This one is
double K. Double K will come to the yes. There's nobody to match. And then Hakimi will just come from that.
There's no way Inter didn't stand it because that energy was too much. That confusion, that entropy was just so much for them.
Yeah, they're so fluid. So fluid. I enjoyed watching them.
See where Hakimi was scoring, tapping from. Hakimi is the left back. He's scoring
right back.
Right back, rather.
Yeah.
He was scoring a tapping from inside the box 6.
At number 9, he was standing in number 9.
Yeah, so who was supposed to mark Hakimi? So do you want Thuram to chase Hakimi all the way down to?
That's so fluid. That's why.
And that's why I said tactical genius.
To nullify them. Yeah.
That's why I said tactical genius. And Henry pointed. There was a part he was saying that like the evolution, the PSG they played in group stage is not the PSG that everybody met in the finals. That means all that time we were laughing at them that Enrique is he cannot replicate They were going through their growth spur.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
They were going through their growth spur. So the painful build. Now that they are here, and then Henry also said these guys don't look. The best they never couple. Now where be the biggest fear be that?
They are not.
So they have.
They're still like 3 years, 4 years away.
There's still room for growth. While I do.
Yes, I hear you. But you know what? The beautiful thing about football is that people tactics. They'll figure you out. People will go.
Yeah,
People will
true.
sit down with you. They will carry your video, go MIT. They will scatter you like next season. You would.
And it takes one guy
Yes.
to be successful. Copy and paste.
Yes,
It's
you just carry you go to lab, start this dissection, or at once just copy and paste.
copy and paste.
I mean,
Because
Premier League, they found Pep out too. So.
Yes, but nobody can. Pep even try. You help people to ransom for that long. What was this movie? We want free. People were like, we want freedom right now.
We want free. We want free.
But Aston Villa guys, when Aston Villa ran all these young guys, Morgan Rogers and them, they rattled PSG actually. Because PSG was leading them like 3 goals on aggregate, and Aston Villa
5-1.
What's there to lose? Let's scatter everything. Then we'll mix them together.
They brought it 5-4.
It's interesting you said that. I think going forward, that 20 minutes of that game, that second leg, is probably the templates to rattle PSG. They need to go out. That's 20 minutes. They need to go and watch it critically and clinically, dissect everything that was done properly in that 20 minutes.
Yes.
And that might be the solution because, PSG is a problem.
Yeah. But you know how crazy. Sorry, finish your thought.
No, I would say that 20 minutes against Aston Villa is probably the most rattled I found. Maybe the closest to be maybe against Liverpool too, but that 20 minutes against Villa, they were literally like,
I think a bit of complacency came into that because they were 5-1 up. I know, and I agree, Villa played well, but PSG were 5-1 up on aggregate, and I think they knocked off a bit. They were like, it's done. And then Villa were like, well, it's not done. We're coming for you. So, and by the time Villa got the momentum, PSG could not get that momentum back. So I agree that Villa played well to get it to 5-4, but I just think PSG have gone 5-1 up within 20 minutes of the second leg. And they were like, it's all over. Like, what are you talking about? And then Villa just threw everything to the wind. They were like, okay, we'll just go for it. So it's just a bit of complacency that cost them that.
Yes, complacency one, but I want to stick to that Henry's like 20 minutes. The coach that did it wasn't a fluke. It was good evening. That's a matured coach. You understand?
Yeah.
He probably overthought it the first. Like, we don't have the same firepower. It was too.
Let's go for control.
You understand?
Let's
go for control. Exactly. Now when I came, like, man,
everything's out of control.
Everybody's out of control. That's chaos. And it just probably birthed a moment of, so that's so now be.
Chaos theory.
So now there you go. Chaos theory. Everyone will not carry that moment. Everybody go lab.
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. Okay, we'll move on. We'll move on from that topic because fantastic discussion from there. But I mean, we're at the end of the season. The season is finished officially, and except for this Club World Cup that's coming up. But I mean, the European calendar is officially over. So we'll start our reviews. I'm going to start with Mr. Blue Gang, billionaire, the Conference League winners, the Champions League.
Thank you very much. But carry on. Do introduce me well.
I'm hailing you. Toddy gang. Sugar Toddy.
Yes.
Sugar Toddy gang.
Yes. Oh yeah. Sugar babies. Money. Financial boys. JP Morgan versus Morgan Finch. Today we're 3 points up. Dow is doing well. Tariff.
I don't even hate. Do you know? I'll admit something. I don't even hate on Chelsea. I don't even hate on your owners. Those guys, they find loopholes that you don't even exist. They'll just go and find one loophole. They'll be like, we can do it this way like this. We'll do it like this. Nothing. Man, those guys are too smart. They're too smart. But anyway, how did you rate your season, Idris? Out of 10, how do you rate your season and why?
I'll say 7.5. A solid 7.5. And I'll tell you here's why. According to if you're looking at where we are at now and results, if you're results driven, 12th, I believe 6th, now 4th, since this new ownership came in. There is a consistent, you can see the consistency that they're achieving results. However chaotic it is in the house of madness or the house of Chelsea Fuji House of Commotion. However it is, there's progress. You know what I mean? You got to give them a solid 7.5. I think where we are a bit distrustful is, and I don't want to, I will not take away from them by saying, oh, everybody was crap and then we ended up fourth. No. Now now you put your head, now Baba go bab you. This is where we are. We took our chances. We went guns blazing. We are here. You understand? Fourth and the trophy, which kind of seems like we had a better season than us now, but I'll leave that for another banter moment. But you know, Harry's like excuse you. but here we are. I think they did a very solid 7.5. I think people are just a little distrustful about the business end of things. We don't know if they're profit driven or if they're still naive. But we've heard our owner talk at the Qatar Economic Forum that like Chelsea is probably the one asset he owns or he's partnered that's been right in his face in terms of it, and he's learning and they're moving along. So I would give them a solid 7.5. If they get their ducks in a row, we might be able to compete sooner than we expect.
Okay, I'll just add one question before I go to the other guys. Finishing on what you just said, you might be able to compete. I felt Chelsea did have a chance to compete for the league title this season. There was one point in December, if Chelsea had won, Chelsea would have gone top of the league. And I think from there, they just put it. Nothing by mistake. They were probably going to go top of the league. Liverpool won the league by mistake. So I just feel Chelsea had the chance to compete. So did you think at that point maybe you could have strengthened in January? Because I don't think you guys bought anybody in January. But I think it was around that point your form.
Strengthen with what? Again, this is where our problem is. We buy any and everything. You know what I mean? So you gotta be a bit careful with Chelsea, right? We're not talking about Pep Guardiola going into the market. We're not talking about Arsenal going into the market. We're not talking about Bayern Munich knowing fully well like they're just going to take somebody else's cookie because they became first last year, right? Chelsea anyway be left face sometimes now they do. So I don't know if buying will have helped. You're talking about a team that has 40 players in first team. So you know, I don't know. I think we're trying to find ourselves. They've gotten the right company man, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse. That's why I say it's solid 7.5. Did we know Cucurella is going to be having a rebirth? Did we know what's his name, Jadon Mandela Sancho is going to be giving us the season he's giving us, right? Breaking us free from the tyranny of people trying to hold us back. No, I did not know that. Let's be honest. Like, you know, did we know Jackson is going to be just missing goals at even worse than he did last season? No, but here we are, right? So I'm being very pragmatic. Yeah. 7.5, yeah, I'm being very pragmatic.
Okay, I'll go to that.
Can I just add something too? So what will you? Yeah. And also remember what Idris too said. They spent 1.4 billion in the past 2 seasons. So what else could they have done in between that in that January window to fix it? It's not.
No, what I was looking at, they spend that money, but you could like Idris said, it's like they spend anywhere but left place. So for example, they spend that money.
Was spent. That's what you're saying.
It was misspent. Do you know why I was bringing up that point? It was because you can see, like, even for you mentioned Jackson, you can see up front they still have an issue. There's sometimes Jackson is playing, he's not playing well. They tried Nkuku there, Nkuku was not, he didn't fit up front. They tried, I think you have one boy called Gay, and Mark Gaiu. Gui. He was injured, I think. He was injured most of the season. So that's what I was thinking. Go on.
Profile. We're trying to figure out the profile that works where, right? If you ask the average Chelsea player today, where do you need strengthening? All of you watching, probably you guys are not far from me too. But if you hear Chelsea players say we need a goalie, we need a midfielder, and we need an attacker, like, are you guys mad? And a winger, you're like, are you guys mad? But technically, when you follow Chelsea, you realize, oh my goodness, you guys actually need another winger. You need somebody
you need an
experienced center back, but maybe you need the right combination. What's the right combination? You know what I mean? We used to play a high line center back with Fofana. Then later Fofana is prone to injury. We start playing with Tosin with kind of like, you know, a low back. But then we have Disasi and Badiashile that are just mad. So you don't know what you are getting. Then we have Sanchez. Sanchez, we say he give it and he take it. We don't know what to do with Sanchez. He will save you literally, and then he will obviously give a goal. So you see where I'm coming from, right? To be consistent, to even be like, I can guarantee top 4, not even winning league goal, that I can guarantee top 4. I've already mentioned 4 positions. Everybody will come out and tell you we need to do something with
so it boils down,
what we need to do. We don't know.
The money was not spent well overall, because those are key positions. If you don't have a good external goalkeeper, you spent well, but I mean, for the top
didn't have the right
in
coach.
football,
Coach is also coach. You cannot buy for the wrong coach now. Coach is the chef. So what Henry is going to cook is different from what Dio is going to cook. It's different from what you are going to cook with the same ingredients. Do you get? So it's another issue. Everybody's like, we need wingers, and we're like, no, we need to keep Sancho. Everyone's like, Idris, are you mad? And I'm like, but here's the thing: we have fast wingers in Noni and Neto, right? Football wise. But are we transitioning fast enough for those guys to get ahead of the other defenders? No, we're not. We are building up slowly. Everybody's talking about Enrique's transition, ruthless. If Noni and Neto are in PSG, they will do well. If you bring the best wingers in the world, those boys, you bring them to Chelsea, Papa, they go look crappy. It's not. And this is not a dig.
Structure. Yeah.
Exactly. When you are a winger, that you have to dribble 3, 4, 5 players to get a chance or a crossing. Something is wrong with your build-up. Something is wrong with your type of way of play. Or maybe it's not wrong. Maybe that's what the coach wants. So I'll leave it there.
Okay. All right, Daya. We go to Mr. Bayern Munich. The season ended with the big title, but I mean, what do you score your season with your expectations coming into this season? Well, over 10. What was it for you?
5.5.
Whoa! Wow.
5.5.
Please elaborate.
Okay. Well, we won a league title, but when you look at our wage bill, it's almost double of the next person. So winning the league title is almost something to expect.
Standard.
So bet right. Carry on.
Yeah. So because we cannot divorce finances from, or especially wage bill, from what you achieve on the field. So if your wage bill is double of your next opponent, then it's best. Okay, not winning is actually the exception. Yeah, you're expected to win. So the other places where we should have done better was in the Champions League. In the Champions League, we had a lot of injuries and a lot of things just didn't work at the right time. So, okay, I give, and also coming back, I would have given lower than 5.5 because when you look at where we were last season, coming from the Aram football or Tukeliban that was serving us, at least this one is moving in the right direction. And it's my brother, man. We are both from Paraport, the same village together. So yeah,
I can see the resemblance.
Yes, if let's fail up for once, so everybody throw away face, look at the other side.
So in your opinion, I mean that was his debut season for company. So do you see there's prospect for him getting better, or do you think they might pull the trigger next season if the season doesn't go well?
Okay, he has another season. He's going to get the benefits of another season. But some things too are not just on company alone, which we understand. We have a lot of players that are overpaid and not delivering. These players are around 28, 29. They should be at their peak right now, but they're not doing anything. Leroy Sané, a major disappointment. Kingsley Coman is spending a lot of time in the hospital. Serge Gnabry is not doing so much. Leon Goretzka is a waste of money. Lee Kim Potter, whatever that
Little Kim.
Bedioka Kim is in our defense, and we have it. So company cannot fix all this, and we don't actually. Bayern tried to get Desiree Doué last season, but he preferred to stay in France because he knew. Okay, you can't convince them to keep spending money when you have guys on 70 million a year. And they're not leaving, they're sitting on their contract until we're able to ship some of them out before we can get some people in. So you have to put the failure or success of company into context, because when your players are not delivering like they should deliver, and you cannot ship them out because they want to sit on their contract, there's so much you can do. So going to next season, I expect at least 2 of Coman, Sané, and Gnabry to be shipped out to make room for another person. But you took words away from us. So we have to look for someone else.
It's not done yet. If we're discussing this before we came on, myself and Dio were discussing this, and I know Florent Wirtz, it's looking like it's coming to Liverpool, but I was just saying I'm a bit skeptical about that 130 million. That's big money. That's big money, especially for Liverpool. It's not like they have money just rolling forever. Spending 130 million on him. I wouldn't mind if Bayern Munich took him and we just use that money to buy 2 strikers. That's what I just want. I just want like 2 proper strikers. That mean Nunes is dead food, like Ogapam will say that. Anyway, let me not ramble on about Liverpool. It's not about Liverpool. Let me go to final question for Dyer. Sorry. Thoughts on Michael Olise? I love that boy.
Absolute,
what do you?
Absolute, man. I don't have the word. I'm short of words. It's just mercurial. Like that guy is, and he's so calm. Everything just comes to him so natural. So that's why I thought partner for him, Musiala, Olise, and someone maybe Due or Bakola. Everyone take Bakola off PSG bench right now, or maybe Rodrigo if we can find a solution with Real Madrid. Like Olise is just so. Is to buy of the season. Buy of the season.
I mean, yeah. I love that boy. I didn't know he could step up that quickly, though. I thought this guy is so good at Palace, but I didn't know he could just really step up that much at Bayern. He has really stepped up. Yeah, I really like him. Okay, I'll go to Henry.
I expect that from him too, though. It's the same way I think someone like Eze too is in his mode. I think if they're put in the right system, they will really thrive. Like if you surround them with the proper structure, I think they will really, really thrive. But I just have one question. Sorry, please.
Go ahead.
Don't you think it should, at least companies should get at least three seasons, or 2 to 3 seasons before we start coming for his neck, right? Because think about what you just said. You have players sitting on. He has players that he has inherited now that are probably not even performing. Are not his players. They're not performing the way he wants them to perform. So he's going to need at least 2 seasons to shuffle them out and then bring those players that would thrive in the system he wants to, wants the team to play. Don't you think he at least needs 2 to 3 seasons before it's fully
That's a fair argument, but, football is not a very patient sport.
And it's Bayern Munich.
And I say especially people close like Bayern Munich. Like, actually, like, if not, those were some of the considerations why it's even getting the second season. We will try to weed out some players because we are not rational people, especially football fans that we want to win and want to win right now. We cannot be like that. We are not as understanding as Arsenal fans. Like, we want to win right now, and we don't care. Okay, players are injured.
Dio, understanding boyfriend, Dio. Henry, are you gonna take that? Henry, are you gonna take that? You ask question in good faith.
I'm next.
You ask question in good faith.
No. I expected it. It was leading. It was actually a leading question because I don't think. And remember, the reason why I asked that question is Bayern is where they are now because of the same situation where they're not giving these coaches enough time to bring the players that will play the structure that they want to implement for the team. That's all I'm saying, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be a repeated vicious cycle if you keep cutting them off after 2 seasons, 2 seasons. It's going to be the same. The only time it will change is if they're so lucky that the bunch of players they have at that particular time
just
fits the structure.
Henry's right, but the football fans are not the most rational people, and once you don't. It's so much of a result-driven business that if you stay for a minute, like somebody else will eat your food. We want Microsoft. I want to spend $100 million. I want the club at the top. I don't care about what is going on underneath. Like, okay, I want to sponsor somebody. Okay, Liverpool's at the top. Let's put money on Liverpool. But Arsenal is rebuilding. They are suffering from their. Who wants to listen to all that crap? Like. We want results and we want it right now. We just don't care. And if you sleep on it too much, the chance, the money, you miss the trophies. When you miss the trophies, you miss the money. And when you miss the
money,
it's
happening to Man United now.
Exactly.
Just to back up your point, Dio, Man United are having to now pay Adidas. Adidas like 10 million for not qualifying for the Champions League. Exactly. They are losing out on money. They're not just losing out on money. They're now paying the kit supplier because they've been missing out on Champions League. So you're correct. So, I mean, if you sleep too much, somebody will eat your food, and actually you start paying for that food that you're supposed to be eating. You start paying them for it. So it's
probably not fair on Amorim that he has to use Ten Hag and Oli, but who cares? Like, we are losing
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, losing money. Yeah, I'll go to
Could also
Henry.
be
Then goes,
sorry.
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just
Quick
just
round
quick
up.
for
Henry, please.
and this yeah for Henry too. Like, could it also be if the manager himself is able to sell his ideas to his employers, because Bayern Munich is known to be an institution. So if he's able to get the buy-in of the leadership and the board, then they can be patient with him in a way to like remove these guys on his behalf, so that he might also be able to just focus on what he's trying to do.
That's yeah, that's true.
Okay. Okay, Henry, I'll go for you next. Rate Arsenal season out of 10. And
Yes.
I mean, also based on your expectations coming to this season.
Yes. Before I proceed, please let's hold off on all the banters, all the smiles, all the side digs. See, I haven't even started. I did
Turn
not.
off your mic.
I haven't,
I have off my own mic. I have off my mic. Carry on.
I haven't even said one word. See, they even started laughing. Please, just give me a brief minute. I just want to do. I even wrote notes. That's how serious this is.
Okay,
So,
guys, seriously, let Henry speak.
Where I want to start from is I rank the season at 7/10. And the reason why it's a 7/10 is really because I expected Arsenal to win something of substance this season, right? Because what would end up happening to this crop of Arsenal players if you're becoming second 3 seasons in a row is you're going to plateau. You're going to plateau. You're not going to learn how to win. You're not going, that instinct, that killer instinct, that ability to be ruthless, we don't have it yet. And what is most frustrating about that team is because Arsenal, we always know what we need, but for some reason we just act dumb and crazy and we don't do it. We don't execute. So, for example, I would say 7/10. The positives I see this season for them was obviously they came second again 3 seasons in a row. That does not help any of us financially. But the funny thing is, financially, it helps the owners, but it doesn't help with the fans. Do you understand what I mean? Right? Because they still made money. They made semifinals of Champions League. That's significant money too. But for
255 million. I think
but
you
for
guys,
your
club made the most money this season out of any
Thank you.
club.
But what I'm saying is, the stupid team, show doings. Do you understand? It's not mouth. Like, we the fans were tired. Like, every season we'll come and see everybody's even laughing. Did you understand? We can't even support our team in peace. Anyway, positive shot. They came second, not good enough. They made the semi-final Champions League. I don't know more to say about that, but it's an improvement from, I would say, the past decade, because for a long time we were never making the competition. The one thing though is, I think defensively we have a very, very good backbone that we can build off of. Because the injuries, even with the injuries we had this season, I actually thought we were going to implode. I'm even surprised we actually came second. I'm even surprised we made it to the semifinal, because when Gabriel went down, I thought, man, we're going right. But with the things like Ben White coming in, a few people coming in, we had periods where certain defenders were not even Tomiyasu, that didn't play a long spell, Calafiori. But I think that defensive is one of the few things. The shortcomings, again, no trophy, and the what I think needs to happen really now going forward is mentality shift. Arsenal needs to change the mentality, right? We need to strengthen in terms of depth. We don't have depth in that team. Like, you know how it used to be in the past, and I even had to Google this. Like, our strikers from the past 20 years, I compare them to the strikers we've had this past 10 years. The class is like crazy. Let me just list them out for you guys, just so you can hear. And I know you people will still laugh at the strikers, but just bear with me. 20 years ago, we had strikers like Robin Van Persie. We had Emmanuel Adebayor. Even Nicolas Bentner, I think, will still collect the shirt of Havertz. As crazy as Bentner was back then. Sharmak, we had Vela, we had Henry, we had Bergkamp, we had Jose Antonio Reyes. Let me tell you what we've had the past 10 years. Gabriel Jesus, Edin Ketia, Kai Havertz, Lacazette, Lacazera, Aubameyang, Folarin Balogun, Oliver Giroud, Danny Welbeck, Lucas Perez, We're even calling Theo Walcott, right? So this is what I'm saying. Like, the class has dropped so bad, and they know. Like, if me, that I'm not even a coach, I see these deficiencies. We know what we need. It's the same thing where we struggled to replace Vieira for years until now, where we have Partey, which it would be crazy if they don't sign him. I keep saying it on this podcast every time I come on. The notion that they want to let that Partey guy go and not at least give him 1 or 2 years contract, it's crazy to me. You're going to rely on your signs to be Mendy. Meanwhile, Real Madrid might come and steal your lunch. Do you understand?
Sorry.
Arsenal is weird.
So, interjection. No, I just want your view, not banter or anything. You are talking about Partey. This is for legal reasons. I won't, but I'm just saying, do you think it's non-footballing reasons why they don't want to give Partey a contract?
I thought so too, but they've been dealing with it this past few years. They should keep dealing with it the way they've been dealing with it.
Okay. No, I just wanted to be sure. I'm not a fan of. I don't know the in and out.
They need him. Yeah. Because I've seen games without him where that team completely looks abysmal. Like they look abysmal. So again, very disappointing season because we didn't win. Are there elements of progress? Perhaps. But in order for people to stop laughing at us, the fans, in order for people to start taking us serious, we need to win. That's what it boils down to. People don't even see. Some people will say, again, remember, just yesterday now, people are taking PSG and calling them a big club, as of yesterday. At 12 noon, people will still laugh at them and say, French League, what will you people do? But nobody, look at the eulogy all of us were giving them today. You understand what I mean? It's the same thing. So until we cross that finish line, they will keep laughing at us. I rest my case and let the banter continue.
No, man, I'm not even going to banter because I really agree with you. I think maybe 7 might be a bit high, but I mean, it's a prerogative to give 7. But my main thing was you're very correct that you guys managed to still make something out of the season because those injuries were bad. What people don't understand, because people suffer this thing. So, and I remember saying last year, I think I was arguing with somebody on the group chat. I was like, yeah, everybody has injuries, but when the injuries happen in one part of your squad, it's very devastating. Like Arsenal, you guys just had major injuries in their attacking units. Eventually, I was even surprised when you were listing your striker. You didn't put Merino, because he became a striker all of a sudden, and this guy got like 8 goals for you guys. And that's good management by Arteta to recognize that this guy who plays DM or central midfielder could actually go forward and score. And he kept on scoring. He scored more goals than Darwin Núñez, who we paid 85 million for. Yeah. Merino scored more than him.
Nobody that played 9 or anybody that played in the Wigs Up Club, nobody scored up to 10 goals this season for Arsenal. The highest was Kai Havertz, and he scored 9 goals.
Yeah,
so that tells you everything in terms of that scene.
So that's why I agree with you that it's testament to the fact that you still manage to salvage something of the season, because when you lose basically all your strikers and you have to start using your center midfielder as the striker, that shows that things are bad. Liverpool, which will suffer something like that. For our injuries are so bad, we started using academy players that our fans, we didn't even know existed. Started using academy players that we never heard of. We started playing them in finals against Chelsea and things like that. So I agree with you. I mean, you salvage the season.
One last point that you make mention, and that's something else I forgot to add, is that we need to start looking at these coaches, that these players have these critical injuries at critical times. I know it's not science, I know, right? But we need to start. What are you doing?
Pochettino, right? Pochettino on us last year.
It's only you. Like, are you serious? Like, what are you people doing to these players, season in, season out, that it's only you that it feels like you're always getting it, and at this critical time, crucial time? Maybe you need to go to Dubai during the holiday and let all of them rest.
Give Ayo a shout out.
What's going on?
I hate to give Ayo a shout out. Ayo called it when we signed Pochettino. Bro, it was bad. To the point where when we started with James in the second half of the Conference League final, all of us were very mad at Maresca. If you hear Maresca's interview right after the match, he said, Reece, he literally looked at, was it Joe Cole, and said, because they are part of the Chelsea course, right? For me, Reece is a winner and he starts all the time, but I have to manage him. And that conversation now is being talked about Lavia. Some of us are even afraid about Casiedo. So yes, I agree with you, Henry. I don't know what's going on, but some teams might have to get rid of their
physio, medical team.
Yeah, medical or physio. One of them got to go because I can't see what's going on right now.
It's not working. Even Idris, remember, Caicedo played all you people's games this season.
That is something, bro. You didn't miss one game, and me, I was shouting. I was like, "This guy, we can't continue like this," because that's what we did to Kante. We ran him to the ground.
Exactly, and then what will happen is one season will come and it will be season ending, and literally that will topple your season.
And you will never be
Rodri.
You will never be the same horse.
Let's not act like this didn't happen. It happened to Rodri.
It happened. Yeah. That's it. Injuries are part of football. They'll tell you. But I mean, if the injuries happen in one area of the team, I think it's always going to be devastating for that team. Like if you lose all your defenders or you lose all your midfielders, come on. You can always manage if it's maybe just spread across the squad. You can maybe somebody will step in for this guy. But if it's just like you lose 4 strikers, come on. It's always going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Well, for me,
corner, because he had no other way than to just be winning from corner.
I mean, that big coach thing. Yeah,
I'm sorry. Like you even said 7. I think Arsenal had a decent team. Banter aside, though. Second, semi-final. Didn't you guys lose out on the final too again this year or something? Or
which final?
No, they're not going to the final. That's why Henry was. I mean, Thierry Henry was on the video recently saying why he was disappointed was it's not even the fact that Arsenal have not won the trophy. They've not got into the final, and I understand where it's coming from because it buys you a bit of patience, even if you get to the final. I'll give you an example. For Liverpool, when Klopp came by year 4. Many of us were already turned against him, but what was giving us a bit of hope was at least he was getting to finals. He was losing the finals, but he was getting to the final. So by the 4th season, we're like, okay, this is the final season. He must win something. But at least he got to that 4th season because in the previous seasons, he still got to a final. Not just a final. He got like 3 finals. He lost Champions League final, League Cup final. He lost Europa final. But he was getting to the final. So when Henry was saying that, Thierry Henry, was like, it's not even the trophy that, Arsenal not, but Man U, look at Man U, like how shit they are. They've got to 5 finals in 5 years. They have been so terrible, but they still got to 5 finals in 5 years. That why are Arsenal not even getting to finals? So I understand maybe that's something to improve on. Because sometimes you can get to the final and be unlucky. Sometimes you might outplay your opponent and lose the final. It happens. But at least get to that final first. Get to that final and show that, okay, at least you are one of the very best to get to the final. So, I mean, for Liverpool, for me, that's what annoyed me this season for my own rating. Slot got to a final and then he messed it up. And I'm not saying Newcastle didn't deserve it. Actually, it was good for Newcastle to even win something for after like 70 years. But what annoyed me was the manner in which we got that final. And that's why my rating is just going to be 7.5, even though Liverpool won the league. 7.5, because the League Cup, I think we should have won that cup. But we didn't deserve to. And Slot adds a bit of blame to it. Let me tell you why. Newcastle took their first corner kick of that final. Who was marking Dan Burn, the tallest player in Newcastle? McAllister. McAllister was marking Dan Burn. And Newcastle said, this was happening. They started floating all their corners to Dan Burn. 3 corners, 4 corners. Our coach was sitting there doing nothing until the corner on the 44th minute where they floated it again to Dan Burn. Who was marking Dan Burn? McAllister. And who scored? Dan Burn. So, as a coach, he did very well, but how can you not recognize something that was playing out? All of us were saying, like, our shortest player is marking the tallest player during the corner kick. And then they scored. And after that, there was no return. So, for me, that's a bit, it was a blemish. It was a blemish that, how could you not see this? How could you let this happen? 4 corners in a row. This guy, they were floating all their corners in, but they were like, McAllister cannot mark this guy. He's the shortest player. And he scored. Dan Burn scored in that final. So we won the league, which I didn't expect. So I'll give him top mark for that. But I felt we could have won the League Cup in addition to it. The Champions League, we lost to PSG. I don't really mind about the Champions League because PSG went through on penalties. Penalties is anybody's game. Some people are good at penalties. Some people miss penalties. It happens. But the League Cup, we got all the way to the final. And then we just throw it away. And that, for me, I detract 0.5 or one mark for losing that League Cup final. It pained me. That, come on, we could have won 2 trophies this season. But yeah, we still have this. I have this one on because we are league champions, which we didn't expect. So 7.5, 20 times champions of England with Man United. So that's a very, very good season. But I think it could have been better. I could have been better if we could have just...
Vex. Henry, let me speak to you about one time. So next season, Ujuni Maja. Henry, translation. Yeah, I go peel next season. All they just did now autopilot that guy do now company man. Next season the true and slot will show. I swear to God, the next season the true answer. I just don't believe what we saw from Liverpool.
He's buying his own players now. He's buying his own players now. He's buying free.
I just don't feel like it's the real guy we saw last season. I feel like it was a residue of like everything came in line. You know what I'm trying to say? Solid team, solid model. He just took care, manage we have seen it in Chelsea. We are used to this kind of short term. Wait, we are used to this kind of short term winning. We have had Di Matteo. We have had Tuchel Liban, as they call him. We have had. We are used to this.
I saw the guy.
Even Arteta won FA Cup now when he first came.
I'm very used to short term winning. They look the guy say, man, this guy. Liverpool I go peel next season, but let's leave it. We'll see.
Well, it leads on to the next. This leads on to the next thing because I mean, for example, if Slot had not won the trophy this season, maybe we'll be questioning him. So our question is: are trophies overrated in football as a sign of progress or success? Because, like I mentioned, the club went almost 4 seasons, 3.5 seasons without winning.
What in the MLB or NBA are you trying to do here in playoffs? What rubbish are you talking about? As soon as I saw that question, I was like, whose agenda is this? Are trophies overrated?
Arsenal now. They probably put it because of Arsenal. You know?
No, not just because of Arsenal.
Not
just because of Arsenal. I'm just interested. I'm interested in your views. Honestly, I'm interested in your views.
Next time. Henry na correct guy, don't bring guy there. For this guy,
Henry na very correct, a very rational guy. Bring the
one guy like
this.
Is it Onos or something like that? Like one very Arsenal guy like this. Is it Onos or something like that? He's very optimistic about Arsenal. He's a very loyal company man. Maybe he's a
company man. But me, I'm just being honest. I've been honest. But some people will say, look. Like even you yourself, you mentioned it now, like maybe 2 or 3 seasons. Some coaches need 2 or 3 seasons to get out the players they don't want and players they want, things like that. So maybe in those 2 or 3 seasons, if they don't win anything, you can still say they are progressing, even if they're not winning anything. So I just wanted to, I know for Bayern Munich, the pressure is always on. But Bayern Munich, even when they win the league, they still need to win something else, or they need to win it beautifully. It's like the same thing with Barcelona or Madrid. Like I always remember vividly. There was one year Madrid won the Champions League and they sacked the manager because they said they didn't win the league on top of Champions League. Was it not Camacho? They sacked one of their managers who won. I think Capello. They even sacked Capello. He won the league and they sacked him. That's Bayern Munich. So some big clubs are like that. So I mean, that's my question. I know maybe you guys think.
Actually, I was going to take the question and I will give a different opinion because I don't think trophies is the all-be-all. I want Idris to be here because we try to banter and troll and everything, and we all say trophies. But the thing is, there are some nuances to it. Like, okay, for example, it's different from club to club. If you're a very big club, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, you have to win every season. No, nothing about it. But the truth is that 80% of football club will never win anything. What do you want Brentford to win? What do you want Brighton to win? Are they failing every season? They are not failing. They are making progress. They are being successful. In Germany, Freiburg, Christian Streich, he was their coach for like 15 years. They didn't win anything, but they were seeing progress. Okay, was bringing them from Division 3 to Division 2 on a small budget. So what would define success for me would be like what you put in versus what you're getting. Like, okay, if you are having a budget of 2 million per season, you can realistically not compete with someone that has a budget of 200 million. So are you going to say that, because I don't beat someone that has a budget of 200 million, I failed? No, there are nuances to it. Like you said, Real Madrid, they want to win the Champions League every season. They don't care, and they spend money to win the Champions League. And that's the purpose of them being in football, is to win the Champions League. So if you win Copa del Rey, bros, you are getting out. It's not, this is not for us. Like, go and shove it anywhere you want. we won champions. That's why Bayern Munich is winning the league, and I'm like, well, I'm not impressed because the next person to you, their wage bill is like half of yours. So what you are scratching the bare minimum. So we should there are nuances to it. Like some players, it depends on. That's why using trophies, especially in team sport, might not be the right way to go. Because okay, some players have a player in. Let me just who is this man? Oscar Bob, or maybe all this Man City players.
Goalkeeper.
Some of them have won trebles. They have all quadrupled.
Yeah.
They are just by being part of the team to just leave their hands up. And somebody's killing himself in Brentford. Okay, and this Ghanaian boy in Brentford or Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Semenyo will not win anything. So are you saying Oscar Bob is better than Semenyo because he's winning? There are nuances to it. You have to compare likes for like. If you're a big club, you have to win. If you're a mid-table to smaller club, you don't really have to win. And to be honest, too, Henry, I think Arsenal, we like to throw them. We like to because of their fans, but Arsenal is doing a very good job right now. They are more competitive, though they've not won. But people's liver go court say, I won't play Arsenal, than say, I won't play Tottenham, even though Tottenham won something. Yeah, Tottenham won something, but who cares about Tottenham? They're about to fire their coach now. I'm seeing it in the news. But he won something. So what's the use of that? Okay, the fans might be happy. And some wins even mask a bigger problem, like 10 hands. Yeah. What's the purpose of that winning when you're not doing anything? And to win a trophy too, you have to there's an element of luck that comes to it, whether we agree or not. And it's not won the league this season. In several of club season, they won't win. So are you saying Arne Slot and Klopp have done the same thing because they won one league title? No. If Arne Slot had run into 99 points Guardiola, he won't win anything. But that's the unfortunate thing that Klopp had to run into. And but Klopp was the one that did most of it. Then other injuries come at the wrong time. You might just be unlucky. Arsenal, they were losing point from Declan Rice throwing the ball and getting 2 yellow cards against Brighton. All those things tend to, you can't just control everything. So when you see progress, Arsenal is making progress. Arsenal is beating Real Madrid. Man, that Real Madrid Cup is not something at all. Harry, you might just have it your way. Sorry.
But I mean, fantastic answer. But I know Idris missed some of the answer, but Idris, I'll get your perspective. No problem. I mean, Dayo gave a fantastic answer, but I just want to hear you because you were making a point before you went off. So, for you, are trophies the be all and end all?
I wouldn't say end all. It depends on again who's the audience. For fans, trophy is the be all and end all. Let's not kid ourselves, right? I mean, that's how we are able to throw Henry. If Henry was in any of our shoes, we will not hear what too. So it's the reason people really support their team. And but there's also the sportsmanship thing of it, because we talked about this question kind of seeps even into the talk about what happens with what's his name, Forehead in Bayern Munich, Dio's coach.
Company.
Yeah. So Company now has won the trophy, but that is still like, this guy at 5.5. You understand, right? Because they were expecting so much. But then you now put it in context. You feel me? But does it buy Bayern Munich time? Yes, it does, right? So, but that's context to the whole thing. We are here questioning a trophy-winning coach if it's okay enough, because there's another trophy we expected him to be better in. But then we will see some coaches spend like 10 years, like in Everton, or coaches spending a long time in Bournemouth, and you're asking what's the ambition of this club. So, I strongly believe trophies are very important, and just because I have this bias against the American way of rewarding sport teams. I don't want us to get into a situation where everybody's like the playoffs is where the money is at, and then if somebody just barely makes it to the playoff, then they get paid and they just like lax. You know what I mean? Then we have scenarios and situations where everybody's getting rewarded for rubbish. So you might say because Bournemouth is a small market, yes, I want them to get TV money. I want them to get some kind of money in terms of how they finish, but I also don't want them to be complacent and not ever want to win the trophy. This year is the year where almost everybody who had won in 10, 20 years won. This year was good for football. Newcastle, in Serie A, in Palace, we're talking about even like Champions League. PSG been dying for this thing. They finally got their hands on it. And Inter finally they're not like the traditional ending up in the semi-final kind of team, but yeah, they are. I know they won it before under Jose Mourinho, but here they are. And I think trophies are very important. And I think we should make sure they are important so that we don't get into a situation where there's a financial incentive not to win a trophy.
Fantastic. Okay. Henry, over to you.
I'm glad he said that. I'm glad the way he ended that. Right? What was the last thing? You said something where you don't want us to get stuck in just a financial incentive. I think
financial incentive for not winning a trophy.
Perfect. I think that's the loop Arsenal is stuck in. Right? Even remember when during Wenger's time, we always accused Wenger of being very economical, right? Because there's some people where it's embedded into their DNA. That's how they see football. To the point where even if they're successful, they might win trophies, but if financially is not making sense for them or not translating financially, they wouldn't even see it as success. But ultimately, let's not get this twisted ourselves. Trophies is the ultimate goal in football, right? It's almost like your ability to score a goal to win a game. If you don't score, you don't win. If you don't win a trophy, you're not a winner. There's no if, buts, and where about it. You need to win. Now, where the problem comes, just like both Idris and that have said, is really that, for me, how you get there, how you go about winning. Because some people can buy their way to winning, right? You see teams where they don't really put in the work, and it doesn't last, right? It's different. You see how you're able to celebrate your Liverpool now? It's because you guys went through a lot of turmoil to get back to this winning way. And you built the structure from ground up, right? The academy, where, remember, you said it earlier, you could go back to your academy and rely on those teams or those players sometimes to step up when you even least expected it. So there's a way where you can win and build teams the right way. Now, some clubs are like, screw that crap. We don't need that. It's not cha-cha-cha. Win something. Some people, that's how they are. But I think trophies are still the ultimate prize. They're the ultimate measure of success. But what matters too is the way you get there, how you get there, right? To me, that matters to me. Yeah, and that's why you see a lot of passionate Arsenal fans, right? That's why they always call us nearly FC, because some of us see the signs and symptoms, but we are just like, okay, put it together now, guys. Put it together. You're like almost at the finish line. Do you understand? So, but ultimately, it's about trophies. You can't keep being mediocre, because after a while, what would happen is you'd be labeled as being mediocre if you're just hanging around, right? It's almost like saying, show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are. If all your friends are winners, and then you're not a winner, they'll be asking you questions now.
And I think it catches up with you down the line. You know what? I think Ola, you're talking about Manchester United playing Adidas right now, right?
Yeah.
A time will come, no matter how barely successful you are, which is what we're talking about, but not winning trophies, it will come back and haunt you in terms of those financial contracts. So somebody's going to want to take the new brand. It doesn't matter. The new champions of, I want my brand associated with these winners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it will not affect your money. That thing that you are not trying to do. Like now, Arsenal is in a situation where they must make a decision and bloat out 80 to 100 million for somebody as good as, or even potentially good as Partey. We're not talking about their forwards. Partey. So that they don't drop. Do you understand? We're talking about like staying there and keep going. Because Henry's stress is, I want strikers. We are very close. I want this. But there's a ticking time bomb in there. If something happens in other places and they don't show up real quick, that mediocrity where we are okay finishing fourth, okay, the fans will turn fast and the money will start drying up very fast.
It does because I mean that's how quickly things can change in football. But for me overall, I think I'll lean more towards Dio's point of view where he says it's all relative, because when you keep saying everybody else win, okay, but what if you are Brentford, for example? Brentford, their purpose of coming into a season probably is not to win the trophy. Okay, if they win, they'll be happy, but they probably is like, okay, we get up to 10. I can't remember. There was a player this season. This just not. This is to back up the point. I think he was playing for Brighton or Brentford. And do you know what they were celebrating? It was not the winning. They were like, oh, we broke our points tally from last season. And for them, that was a big deal. One of their players was coming out. He was like, man, we're so happy we broke our points tally from last. So it's all relative. They didn't win the trophy, but they were happy. They were like, man, we exceeded our points tally. Our best ever season in the Premier League for points total was this season. And that for them is success. So it's all relative. And of course, for the elite clubs, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, or Bayern Munich, of course, trophies are the barometer. But for many clubs, like Dayo said, even say 80%, or even say the number is higher. 90% of clubs probably will never win anything. In England, there are 92 clubs. Out of those 92 clubs, do you think up to 30 or 40 of them have won trophies? There are many clubs some of them have even gone out of existence and they never won anything. So in football, they'll be like, there are many clubs that will never win anything. So it's all relative.
You're not lying, but you also want to make it competitive enough so that we're not in a German league situation. You want it to be a situation where at least top 7 get chance. Like Syria is even close to that, Because
but it's a myth. It's a myth in England. It's a myth. In the last 6 years, it's only Liverpool and Man City who have won the league. And Chelsea get crashed in the last 10 years, apart from City and Liverpool, only Chelsea have won the league. So it's a close shop. So all that competitive, I love how competitive it is. But at the end of the day, it's still the big guns who are still winning the league, except for Leicester. That miraculous season. Except for Leicester, it's either Chelsea, Liverpool, City, or Man United since 2013, as the last 12 years. So yeah, it's good that it's competitive, but at the end of the day, it's still one of those big 4 that still win. Even Spurs are not smelling it. Spurs officially are part of big 6, big 6. But they are not smelling the league. They are not even near second, third. That's what I mean. That at the end of the day, we are saying everybody has to try to win, but it's hard, man. It's hard. It's really hard.
Because okay, the league only one team will win the league, and there are 20 competitors every season.
Yeah.
So okay, Man City won four in a row. That means out of 20 times 4, 80 teams. 80. Only one. So you say that how much of a failure the others are in quote like
exactly.
yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's tough because Arsenal Arsenal has not won the league in 21 years. Spurs, 100 years. I don't
know. Forever. Chelsea, like play. Chelsea, 2015. When was the last time we won the league?
We don't do 10 years.
It's 10 years. Chelsea is 10 years.
Spurs for
10 years.
Man U. They're about
13 years.
Queen Sarah.
So it's tough. It's tough. So I understand why people say, oh, yeah, you have to win something. For me, the easiest thing is don't just think the league. That's why when people laugh about the Carabao Cup, and that's why I push back, because I'm like, man, it's still a major trophy. You still won something. So when people are okay, you just get 500K. Who cares whether I get only 500K for winning it? It's in your cabinet. Win it. It's silverware. It's still something. Because there are only 4 trophies. There are only 4 trophies available. So if you win one of those 4, it's something.
I agree, but you see that thing about the Carabao Cup is just 500K. That's where I'm coming in now. Crystal Palace now, they got well paid. They've disrupted this whole, like for the last 10 years, only this amount of people. That throws a wrench into the whole, who do we expect to win? Yeah, we expect 3, 4, 5 people to kind of win. But Crystal Palace got paid. Newcastle got well paid. I mean, 3 people getting well paid.
Yeah, Newcastle, how much will they make from Carling Cup versus how much they've invested into it? It's just for the bragging right for their fan or something.
I know, but can we? My advocacy is for the trophy. We need to start having some financial, you know what I mean, to the pool. Maybe figure all this money. If you win a trophy, this is how it now comes to everybody, so that we now see if a Newcastle or a Crystal Palace gets paid because they won a trophy. Do you understand? Because if you ask Henry's worry now is we are making money. We are doing company. We are just coming out here saying we beat our quota last year, but nobody's out here, carrying a trophy. So if those trophies, and this is me having just a probably aloof way of thinking about stuff, but if those trophies carry that heavyweight financially, than all this disruption of we expect only Bayern Munich to win it.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
fans really care how much a trophy brings you. Fans just want to win the trophy. For me, I don't care how much fans just want to win the trophy.
But are you understanding Idris' point though?
I'm not sure I do. I'm not sure I understand this point.
He's saying maybe it's time to make sure that people are actually getting more paid better for winning these trophies. In terms, it will drive up the competition, meaning people will take it serious. Do you understand? So instead of getting paid Tashere, right, and saying it's Carabao Cup, maybe financially there's a better incentive attached to it. These clubs take it serious because maybe that 10 mil that Man U paid, they can collect money from that Carabao Cup.
There you go.
Yeah,
so
but
take it seriously.
it also depends on the sponsors.
Well, yes.
What are they willing to put into it? Like, you know, we used to call it What Nothing Cup.
Yeah, What Nothing Cup. Yeah, What Less Cup.
Yeah, What Nothing Cup. Like, you know, because the coaches even devalue it. Arsene Wenger will put the youth players there.
But
are you as a, let's say, Adidas, do you want to put 100 million to something as a Wenger?
But you see, that's the thing. You're not wrong. But don't they need the blessings of the FPL, the league, the players to have these competitions even go? You understand? Like if there's a whole as England though for this money to go around to take it seriously, we know Premier
League is playing out. Do you mean the lesser teams should take it seriously? So because I mean, are you talking about like Palace, Villa?
No. Because they have to still get Premier League is Premier League. Premier League is going to have the biggest eyes, no doubt about it, right? But FA Cup has got everybody, right? The Carabao Cup has got everybody, and this entire professional football league, they're under the. There's a federation that governs everybody, all the clubs and everything, right? Yeah. There's a body. If the body now decides that we know the Premier League is always going to, if you win the Premier League, will come top for you, I'm carrying 200 million, 100 million, 150 million, no problem. But we want the Carabao Cup instead of 500k to be 20 million. We want an FA Cup instead of it to be 50 million to be 100 million. But people will sit up. There's consequences.
That's my point.
Because if a Crystal Palace just lays their hand on 100 million, they don't mess up the cup for next season.
Trajectory.
They don't mess up the for next season. Yeah, so.
I understand your point now. Yeah, I understand your point. Now. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Good discussion. Okay, let's start rounding up highlights of the season, not from your team. So I'll start with Henry this time. I'll start with Henry. It can be non-Premier League.
PSG winning a treble. To me, it's the
wow.
Right? Because and I'll shout out Ayo. Ayo was the one person who at the beginning of the season called it that for some reason he had a premonition that PSG were going to win this stuff. I was I even said, Ayo, what type of? But yeah, I mean, because we always, you guys know we always diss the French league. Even after this win, some of us will still diss it. Do you understand what I mean? Some of us will still diss it, but now the team has come. They've shown. That's why you see a lot of their past legends and even current are like they're really celebrating this because they feel like they've put a lot into that league and they feel like it's been overlooked. I don't even even coefficient wise, I'm sure this will probably play into their favor. They probably might get an additional slot. But yeah, it's huge. It's huge because not only is it just Champions League the way it was done, and also winning the other leagues. Don't be surprised if they even go ahead and give a good outing. The way this team is set up, give a good outing in the Club World Cup too.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Dayo, highlight of your season, non-Bayern Munich.
Idris, go first.
Okay, Idris.
I'll piggyback off Henry saying I was going to go with Inter Milan. Although they're just so hard pressed by that they won nothing, they were struggling to the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. They were really struggling. They were having a PSG moment, and the fact that they just gave us a erratic Champions League. I don't care whose ox is God. We are going 3-3, 5-3, 4-4. I like that. I would say it's been a long time as a football fan. I felt what I felt. I don't want my club to go like that and not play rubbish, but I really enjoyed it. That's my highlight of the season, to be honest.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, yeah.
Okay, my highlight of the season comes from a place of bad belly. You already knows. The adrenaline rush for Arsenal fans to think they were about to win something, and what did they call it? Where you have to withdraw symptoms when you crashed after like taking coke and you found out you didn't win anything. My Arsenal friends for over 20 years that have been hiding under. I thought some of them have deactivated. They started coming out of the woodworks. Oh, they are about to win the people that I have not heard from started thinking me out of nowhere. They are with Real Madrid. Oh, we are going to win everything. I'm like, okay, this might be the time I'll eventually deactivate Facebook. But I still kept Facebook for one more year because Arsenal. So it was joyful to see Arsenal crash to PSG.
Guy said it was joyful.
Yeah, when I saw Declan Rice sit on that pitch in Paris in agony, it was emotional for me. It felt like
This is not nice. This is not nice. One day this has to come to an end. One day this will come to an end.
I won't lie. Me too, I was happy that Arsenal won the Champions, but I'm not like that. I was not joyful. I was just like, man, relieved. I was relieved.
I was talking to an Arsenal girl, a female Arsenal fan, and she said, "Whoever wins the Champions League for us, I will name my son after you." I said, "So you are going to give your son a name for 60 years?"
Wow.
The nameless. The nameless. No, I won't lie. Sorry, man. I was afraid. I won't lie. Actually,
I was afraid. I was
afraid. As a Chelsea fan, I did not know where we were going. So as soon as you guys lost, just be like, say our own fortune begin to go up. I was like,
no. But that's the thing, like I think somebody has said on this podcast, it's not like we even hate Arsenal as a club, it's just the fans. And I mean, Henry is even like one of the best of them. I mean, the Arsenal fan, it's your fans that even just bring this beef. Like as a club, I really respect what they're doing. I mean, they've gone about it, they've put structure in place, they've spent money at the right time. But the fans, man, come on, some of your fans. And it's not all your fans, to be fair, but man, many of your fans.
There's a section of their fans, they give all of you guys why do you think I came to the group? I came to the Facebook group and I said, the shameless. I'm not supposed to talk this season. When you guys brought it out, like you dug it out of me to be like, I'm shameless, but like I gotta call you guys out.
Yeah. But for me, anyway, my highlight is not Arsenal related. It's about the blossoming of Lamine Yamal. That's the highlight of my season. I was stunned when I heard that boy has played 100 games already for Barcelona. 100 games. He's not even 19 years old yet. He's not even 18. I think it's just about 100 games. And then it was those semi-final games. That's when you could see that even what was the Inter Milan coach said, they had to put 3 players on him. He verbally said it. He said, this guy, Yamal was so good, we have to start putting 3 players on a 17-year-old, 18-year-old boy. That would 3 players on him. So for me, this season, I know Messi, GOAT, greatest of all time, but if this boy continues on this trajectory, yeah, he might rival Messi. If he keeps going like this, he might. Because I mean, at this age,
you're not lying.
Yeah,
I think even if you compare numbers at this stage, at this
age, yes. Oh, he's way ahead of all of them, of Ronaldo, Messi. At this age, he's way ahead of them. Goals, assists, he's way ahead. But the thing is, that's the thing about football. Football can change very quickly. He can maybe get an injury and he might not fulfill his potential. But I mean, if he does manage,
he's a factory product too. Injury, that boy is a factory product. I think they already have his templates.
There's a good laboratory for you. There's a good lab for you.
Sorry, Henry is saying something. Sorry, Henry. Yeah.
Do they play him too much?
Yeah, he might burn out. That's why I was shocked. 100 games already.
Because bro, it's 17 or 100?
It's 17.
That's a lot.
It's 17.
That's a lot.
We're not playing 100 games at 17.
No, that's not normal. I was so 30 games now. 30, 17. That's an academic player now.
Actually, I'm worried for him. And, unfortunately, he's so good that you can't drop him. But assuming Barcelona was not in such a bad situation where they were coming in, they could have ushered him gradually like they did for Messi. Messi at 17 was good, but they were just bringing him 30 minutes, 20 minutes there. So to let him blossom fully. But Lamine, because there was a game Barcelona was playing, and I think it was before the semi-final return leg to Inter Milan, and they benched all their young guns, and they were trailing by maybe 1-0 and 2-0, or they had to bring in Yamal again, and he can't just catch a break. Like, I really wish they can manage him better, but I still understand why they're not cutting him, because he's the talisman. He's the only one. He's the one that wins the game for them. So I really wish we can manage him properly. Maybe
he's a
give him
victim
like
of
a
his
year
own
break.
success.
Yeah, just give him like a year break. Let him calm down and mature, because that guy has a lot of joy to give us in football.
Yes.
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I enjoyed watching him so much this season. I mean, the trajectory is good. He makes the right decision on the ball all the time. And the funny thing, some people wanted to blame him for that Inter Milan defeat. They were like, "Oh, why didn't he take the ball to the corner to go and waste time?"
He's 17.
Why would you take the ball to the corner? This guy, he backed himself. He backed himself to score.
Yeah.
Why are you telling him to take the ball to the corner to go and waste time? And the ball, he almost scored. He hit the post and came out, and then Inter Milan counted. Why would you blame him for that? I mean, come on. I love that boy.
Man. He's 17.
Yeah, because one of my friend has a kid that plays youth soccer, like 14. I'm like, they shouldn't be teaching kids about offside rule, eye line at a certain age. Let them just enjoy. Let them just just knock yourself out. What later when you
enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Okay, final topic before we round up. We've done 1.5 hours. This one will be just short and quick. I mean, it's summer. Football is almost ended. This is when cricket, tennis, hockey, all of them come out to play. But let's just assume they just scrap football from this planet. I'll start with you, Idris. Which other sport would be your passion if football just completely stopped existing?
You already know you already know my sport. I don't think many people know my sport.
I know.
So for me,
polo.
Yeah, it is polo, Henry. Yeah, it is polo.
It is what?
Polo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I never knew.
Yeah, that's like my season started yesterday, so my back is sore, and I realized so I'm out there legging up my horses, which is just getting them to run. So my preseason is starting right now. So that's
wow. I never come on. This is like we learn something new every day. I really never knew you went to polo at all. Wow, fantastic. Okay, great.
If you want to jump on a horse and you want to learn, and we come over to Alberta, I like to see brothers on a horse, for God's sake. Yeah. Like I'm the only one out there right now.
When I was in Kaduna for a little bit with my dad, when he was still stationed there, he was the commander in the Air Force Wing in NDA. That was the first time I started riding horses for a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Yeah. I started riding in Jos. So we kind of have almost the same background. So I went to Air Force Military School in Jos, which you're probably familiar with. NMS is in KD. So we were always playing against having horses in parade. So it was kind of normal. Then Kaduna has got one of the most prestigious polo clubs in Nigeria, which is Fifth Chakra. One of the best. I would advertise it as much as a Nigerian for you to go check it. Some of the best horses in equestrian is there. And Port Harcourt is one. Ibadan has. Lagos is the premium where the big boys play. But Abuja has got something going on right now. So look into it. It's kind of like a cool thing to get into.
Yeah. Oh, polo, lovely. Yeah. I know in the northern part of Nigeria, it's quite a popular sport. Yeah. But anyway, Dayo, what about you? Which other sport would you be passionate about?
Well, for me, I would say besides football, it depends on the rivalry going on. So I got into tennis a lot during the Federer, Nadal, Djokovic days. When there's something about rivalry that brings up passion. It's coming back. When everybody will pick a side, Nadal, Federer, and it makes it more passionate. And even in boxing, when we were having real knockout, beating each other, not the ones that are hugging each other, right? So you see the passion in it. So it depends on the actors at that moment in time. If it were to be 10 years ago, everybody will be watching Roland Garros, will be texting. Right now, I don't even care about it until it's in the side. It's almost in the final. So it's just to check it. So I would say probably tennis, but it depends on the rivalry going on. The rivalry drives the sport. Like when Ronaldo and Messi, nobody was missing El Clasico, but now maybe Yamal is beginning back now. Yamal versus Mbappe.
Great, no problem, Henry. Yep, on to you.
Yeah, so I tend to watch different sports, but lately the one I picked up, I do a little bit of karting now. So I'm into like F1, and I'm also into tennis too. So I play with my daughters. I have two daughters, two girls. So we played tennis
Oh,
together, and then
yeah.
Formula One we picked up karting too, just to for leisure. But yeah, those two things definitely.
And so your two daughters are on the way to becoming the next Venus and
No,
Serena,
no,
yeah?
it's not that level. Though. It's not that Serena. No, it's not Richard's level. They're picking it up. So what we try to do is expose them to different sports. So whichever one they like, yeah.
No problem. Yeah, I think, well, tennis is almost synonymous because for me too, I'm really big into tennis. Yeah, probably got into it around Sampras, Andre Agassi time. That's when I really got into tennis. And I think one of my favorite ever books, autobiographies, is Andre Agassi's book. I'll recommend it for you guys. The name of the book is Open. That's the name of the book, Open. Andre Agassi, fantastic book. And I think it was one that actually got me into tennis. And then after that, of course, Federer then came and all the other guys. Djokovic is my favorite now, actually. But yeah. I mean, if football disappeared completely, yeah, tennis is something I see myself investing in big time. And I even watch the women's game too, but it's just at the moment it's just a big flux of. I mean, there's so many different players that the women's game is a bit volatile. There's no standout. After Serena left, there's no standout. Yeah, but tennis also for me. But yeah, but hopefully we will never get in a situation where football disappears because football will always be our number one. No problem. We've come to the end of the show. And just before I round up, I'll do the call out our handles once again. YouTube handle is at Footy Fantasy. Twitter is at Footy AD Fantasy. Instagram is at Fantasy Footy, and the team music is from SJ Music. You can find him at SJ Music on Instagram. And yeah, thank you all for joining us once again, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you, Dayo. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Idris. You've all done a great job. Signing out.
Thank you, gentlemen.
This is Ola from the Champions of England. See you guys.
We don't hear.
You're watching Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing, go meet your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to Champions League, your eyes go see. It's Footy Fantasy. You're watching Footy Fantasy. Footy Fantasy. It is your steady thing, go meet your football needs. Your football needs. Banter from rivalries, he sure you go receive. From EPL to